Adventures.
Hey guys, Chuke here from Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Well, many of you called it. It was only a matter of time before I came crawling back to the good old Glock 20. Now, this weapon is safe and nothing in the magazine. So I have gone back and forth about the Glock 20 for 11 years now, as long as I've had the channel, and I have been talking story after story, especially the last 2 years, and I just had to come back. I'll tell you why. First of all, my 1911 is a classier weapon. So this is my Dan Wesson 1911. Nothing in that chamber as well. And it's just I've got this just in case holster for it. I've got a few just in case holster. I've got his leather chest holster, just beautiful, beautiful leather. It's a solid stainless steel weapon, and I just love a 1911, and I shoot it so much better. The trigger is a million times better than a Glock, and the grip angle is a million times better. I did that video when my buddy got the XDM, and I was shooting this, and I was just super accurate with this. And I'm never accurate with 10 millimeters, but when it comes to this 1911, I was very accurate. And I've got small hands. It just feels so good in the hand. The problem is, well, the big problem is the capacity. The other problem is I've got a good one, but I've had two friends that have had Dan Wesson Razorbacks just like this, and they had problems, had to get it sent in or tweaked the springs to get it running properly. And both guys don't carry it. Well, one guy got rid of his, and the other guy, he's carrying like an XDM or something now. So I've got a good one, but you never know when springs are going to go bad. You don't know with the Glock either. But I have found the Glock 20 to be the most reliable 10 millimeter. I know it's going to go bang, and then the capacity. So that 1911 will hold 8, sometimes 9 plus, well, 8 plus 1. I think I've got some mags that have 9 rounds. Yeah, no, 9 plus 1, so 10 rounds, but this is 15 plus 1, so 16 rounds. You've got an extra 6 rounds in this, and some of the stories that I've done, guys dumped a full mag, and it was those last couple rounds that did the bear in. And another reason why I went back to the Glock 20 is all these stories that I've covered featuring the Glock 20 doing the job and saving these people's lives. Now, this isn't even all of them. There was last year, I think I talked about the Montana mushroom hunters. One of them had a 1911, which is cool. It was in 45. The other had a Glock 20 in 10 millimeter. Stopped the charging bear with that. Several from Wyoming. We had Sam Kazar. That was a cool story. Now, he bought a Glock 20. He bought some bear defense ammo, and he practiced. He practiced drawing, and he practiced, at the range, and as much as he could, he practiced. And then when he was actually charged by a brown bear, it saved his life, and he used the Glock 20. Now, another one was Garrett Kozowski, and I interviewed him as a guy I actually talked to. The bear spray didn't work, and he said, "Oh, bear spray wouldn't have done anything." And he used a Glock 20 at very close range, and one of the rounds shattered the bear's femur, I believe, and he had shots to the neck and the head and in the middle body. But anyways, he used Glock 20, just firing rapidly, and saved his life. That was a really fun interview. I got to talk to him, and his dad was a fan, so that was cool. And then just a couple weeks ago, another story. Now, this was in Outdoor Life, and Tyler Friel wrote the article, and this was about Brett Torbeek and his friend Andy. They were moose hunters that were just out scouting, and they were hiking, and got charged by a record, like a world-class interior grizzly, and both of them just unloaded with their Glock 20s and took it out. So I know black shirt is blocking that. So, and that's not even all the stories. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories. I know there's some more from Alaska. There's several more. There was that guy that, you know, he got bit in the leg. And so, you know, that's another one. So just story after story of the Glock 20 working. And what's funny, when I first started this channel, you know, 11 years ago, a couple years later, I started talking about the Glock 20 and the Kenai Gunfighter's chest holster, because that's what my friends were carrying. And so that's what I got. And people would just dog on me and troll me and be like, oh, you're an idiot if you think that's going to work. And now we've got all these stories proven over and over that it does work. Now, I've always said a rifle, a 45-70, a hunting rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun with slugs is way better. That's what you want. But the problem with those, if you're just fishing or hiking, that's heavy. I tend to put things down on the bank and then I get charged. I've got nothing. So it's better to have a holster and have something like this. Now, I will say that I am going to test this next weekend. I'll have a video up and show you how I did. The first Glock 20 I ever got was a Gen 3, and that thing was a lemon. It was a dud. I could not get it to stop failing. I changed springs out. I sent it back to Glock. They put internals in, claimed they tested it, sent it back to me. It still wouldn't stop jamming. So I went and got a Gen 4 and never turned back. I mean, the Gen 5 I got years later was also solid, but that Gen 4 never jammed on me. It jammed on Chuck once, but that's because he had a bad magazine that had like nacho cheese on it or something, and he was just trying to sabotage me, but that was solid. So this is a Gen 3. The reason I got it, well, one of the reasons is I believe that this is a collector's item. I got a couple buddies that are just like, get a Glock, get a Glock 19, get a Glock 20. You know, they're phasing out the Gen 3 through 5 and putting in these Vs, which I don't want one of those. So I had to get one. I, you know, told Juan to save me one, and I went in and got this. And the last aftermarket Gen 3 or 4 he had was the C, the 20C. So this has got ports in it, not a comp. I like ports better than comp. I have heard that you get 30 feet per second less. That's not bad. If it would only be that much, I'll be happy. So we will do some videos with Chuck, just testing the velocity, how much we lose with these ports. But pretty interesting with the slide and everything. But it is a Gen 3, and initially I had bad luck with the Gen 3. So I'm going to test it out. But if it's reliable, this is what I'm going to be carrying many of the times. Now, I will say I haven't had any problems with my 1911. If I'm on a trip where I'm with a couple guys and I'm not by myself, I'm going to take this just because I'm more accurate with it. And, you know, I'll feel more confident with a couple other guys around that, you know, Chuck always has like 5 pistols on him. So if there's a few of us, I will take this. But if it's one of those hunts, which happens sometimes where I hike in the mountains completely alone, you know, I'm fishing completely alone. I get dropped off on an airplane completely alone, which I shouldn't do, but it does happen sometimes. I think I'm going to take this. As long as it's reliable, you need that extra capacity, I feel. And just to be able to carry 16 rounds, hard-hitting 10 millimeter. Now, typically, my favorite ammo is the Buffalo Bore 220 grain hard cast, and this does great with it. So that's what I'm going to use. I have found with Glocks, the 200 grain hard cast is typically more reliable. I mean, if this shoots the 220, I'll probably carry that, but 200 grain is just fine. Either Underwood or Buffalo Bore hard cast. You know, the Underwood's got that coated hard cast. That's probably what I'll use. But I'm going to test this. We're going to do a couple mags full of hard cast. Make sure it's good. Shoot some Full Metal Jacket, other stuff. But Glock 20, guys, it's hard to beat. I do like the XDMs because they got the better triggers. Maybe a little bit better grip angle, but this is just such an iconic pistol. The Glock 20 started everything. It brought back 10 millimeter back into mainstream, and I just like the Glock 20. There's a lot of aftermarket support for it. So let me know what you guys think. I'm back, baby. Got the Glock 20. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have another video out next week, and we'll see how it performed. Chuke. your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.